It's no secret that the real estate market is hot right now. We continue to see prices increase and almost always have bidding wars, yet people still continue to buy. And in fact, we're selling more properties now than we have for about the last 15 years. But is this a good time for you to buy, or do you continue to rent? Stay tuned and we're going to dive in. Hi, Kathy Palmer with Michael Saunders & Company, and if you enjoy these short lifestyle and real estate videos all about the Sarasota and Manatee area, go ahead and subscribe to this channel and click on that little bell so that you get notified every time I put out a new video. Today we're going to talk about the pros and cons of both buying and renting, and it's September 2021. So we're going to talk about the market as it is right now in the Sarasota-Bradenton area. Sometimes it seems like it's all bad news in the housing market right now. So prices are continuing to increase. It seems like affordability is getting further and further out of reach for some people, but there are some pros to buying right now. For one, mortgage rates are still low, which can boost affordability, and the fact that our market keeps increasing in price, it really helps with your equity. As soon as you're getting into a house, a lot of people have equity already, even at the closing table. There are also a lot of mortgage options right now as far as down payments are concerned. So since the interest rates are so low, a lot of people are choosing to do under 20% down, which typically means that you have to pay a private mortgage insurance. It's worth it to them, though, to have less money out of pocket so that they can save it for emergencies or maybe repairs and go ahead and finance that other amount at a lower rate. Mortgage standards are still high, and unfortunately, a lot of times a cash buyer is going to win out versus conventional finance. And FHA and VA are even harder to get under contract at times. There can be a lot of competition from cash buyers for those that are getting mortgages, although it's not unreasonable for a mortgage transaction to win out over cash. But we are unfortunately seeing that the majority of our mortgage buyers are going to be paying over asking price. So who should be buying property now? Well, cash buyers who are looking to either move to this area or maybe upgrade or downsize from where they are now are of course great candidates because they typically are going to have exactly what the sellers are looking for. They've got the cash. Other people who are good candidates to buy right now are very well qualified buyers who are getting a conventional mortgage. So a conventional mortgage is seen a little bit higher regard than an FHA or a VA mortgage. And a lot of times that if you are going to choose a mortgage as a seller, it would likely be a conventional over an FHA or a VA. It's also good if you know that most likely the price of the property is going to be more than what the property is actively listed at. So if you are already looking at the high end of your budget, it would be best to come down a little bit so that you're not going to go over budget during your bidding war. Somebody else who is a great time to buy right now, somebody who's a little bit flexible maybe with areas or with the type of home that they want. If you're looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath with a pool in Sarasota, Florida, that's a tough market. I mean, everybody here wants a pool. If you would consider something maybe without a pool or maybe something that has a little bit different floor plan, your options may open up. So who are people that maybe buying right now is not the best idea? Well, let's start with the people who it's really going to be a stretch to get into the market at the prices that we have now. Also people who are going to just have to sacrifice too much and just won't get a home that's really going to work for them long term. Another group of people are, maybe there's people out there that they really don't qualify for those great, fantastic rates right now. They could end up paying more down the road because they're paying a higher interest rate and they're paying more for the property. If one of those scenarios applies to you, it might be best to kind of wait this one out a little bit until the boom is over. So what are the pros of buying property now? Well, the first one is obvious, and that's equity. So every month that you make a payment, you build that much more equity. Also, it's possible that the property will increase in value. You'll also reap tax benefits, most likely, and you have a little bit more flexibility as far as what you want to do with the property. If you want to start doing some remodeling projects, you wouldn't have to check with a landlord to make sure that that's okay. So what are some of the cons? Well, the price of the property could decrease. So even though you have equity, it could eventually be worth less than what you paid for. Another con is it will typically cost you more money to get into a home if you have a mortgage, and obviously if you're paying cash, then first, last, and security would be. Another con is you do have less flexibility as far as if you needed to move soon, you would have to go ahead and liquidate the property, which if you're renting, you could just break a lease and maybe be done in 30 days or less. It's understandable that in this market, some buyers are getting frustrated and are really considering just renting for, maybe the next year and hoping that the market cools off. Well, last year we saw about 20% increases. So while the market may cool off, I guess a good question to ask yourself is, what if it doesn't and I wait a year and then I'm chasing these new higher prices and all of the money that I've spent for rent has not gone into equity or really done any purpose other than just give me a place to live for the next year. There are a couple pros to renting though. So one of them is it usually costs less to get into a rental. First, last, security maybe, turn on some utilities, and that's it. Another pro is that you have a landlord who's probably doing the majority of the maintenance and the repairs to the property. And another great thing is if you're new to the area, this really gives you a chance to kind of shop the different neighborhoods. You could live one place for a few months and somewhere else and really kind of get a sense of the area where you want to purchase. So what are some of the cons of renting? Well, the obvious one is that you're creating equity for someone else instead of yourself. But what if they decide to raise your rent or to sell the property and you have to get out? Also, you can't really make it your own as much as you would if you had a home that you had purchased. You might be able to paint or something like that, but if you wanted to remodel a bathroom, or maybe change landscaping, that might not be an option. And also, you don't get any tax benefits while you're renting. These are tough decisions right now, and a lot of people are weighing out what's better for them. Do they hang in and try to find something to buy, or do they just go ahead and rent? And that's obviously a decision that only you can make for yourself. If you are considering buying right now, it is really important to take a good hard look at your budget and your finances to see what the price range might be, or talk to a lender to see what type of lending power they can give you. And then look at the homes in the area, see if they would suit your needs as a buyer, see what their availability would be. And then it's also a great idea to contact your CPA or financial advisor to get their advice on whether or not this is a good time for you to buy. Thanks for watching, and if you've got any other questions about buying in the Sarasota, Manatee County, or really just any real estate questions in general, feel free to reach out to me. You can call, text, or email, or there's a link in the description to a real easy one-click contact form. Thanks again.